jolly good. Hello, boys and girls. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Clank Zoka, and welcome to another My Thoughts On. Today, I'll be talking about the Loud House movie. I can't scream because I will get told off. So, this is the long-awaited Loud House movie, which is based on the Nickelodeon cartoon, The Loud House. And I did watch The Loud House, I think in 2016 when it was like a new thing, you know. And then I've watched the full first series and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really funny, wonderfully animated in that comic book style, and I thought the characters were likable. It was good to see a cartoon coming from Nickelodeon that isn't just SpongeBob and whatever else was popular at the time. I mean, SpongeBob still is now, but you know. I've watched a little bit of Series 2 and then I just kind of stopped. Not because I thought it was bad, I mean, it was very good. Still going strong, you know, but I was a bit busy and I had other things to do. But then the news, I heard some really strange news and huge news as well. The creator of The Loud House, Chris Savino, he got fired from the show for, I can't remember specifically, but it was like sexual activities or something like that. And I'll be very honest, I was like, what the fuck? I mean, why? Why would he do what he did? And again, I can't remember, but to be fair, I don't want to know. Kind of reminded me of, what's his name? I think it was Dylan Brown, who originally directed Wonder Park, but then he got fired. Yeah, Dylan Brown. He got fired. Want to know why? Same thing, I think it was sexual assault. What is it with Nickelodeon and its creators and directors just getting fired for... I won't look into it. I won't even question it even. Anyway, so before you ask, I'm aware of what's happened with the show in terms of its controversy as well. And I believe the creator simped the sisters, you know, Lincoln's sisters, which is like, oh. And before you ask, I'm not watching the movie or the show to support incest. I'm not doing that. I'm just here to... Look, if you want to watch the film and all that, you do that, okay? Just ignore the people who say, oh, you're watching it so you support incest. People are watching it because they love The Loud House. Alright, I watch a lot of things that involves the creator, the actor, or the director doing sexual things that's not good. But you ignore that. You just watch what you want to watch, even if it has controversy around it. That's not pleasant, okay? Yeah, am I clear on that? I'm not watching it because I support incest, and I honestly don't. I'm just here to watch a movie. That's what it's all about, man. Anyway, so the Loud House movie came out to Netflix yesterday, and this has been long awaited. I haven't watched the Loud House in about 5 years. Fucking hell, wow. That's, not gonna lie, that's quite insane. Right, so, what is the Loud House about? No, I won't talk in a Scottish accent. So, the Loud House is about, well, the Loud House. I'm joking. I mean, it is. So it's about the only boy in the Loud House family named Lincoln. He is always the one who helps the sisters, and after finding out that they have relatives in Scotland, they all go over there for a vacation. But Lincoln wants to find out what he's good at, because all of his sisters, and before you ask, no, I'm not going to name all of them because I'll be here all day. I mean, I know most of their names, but I can't remember, like, all of them, you know. So they all go to Scotland, and Lincoln, he wants to find out what his speciality is. So Lisa does sciencey things. Luna plays music. Lenny, who is actually my favourite out of all the sisters, does fashion. Laurie plays golf. And the twins. Oh yeah, Lucy as well. Lucy is a goth or something. I don't know. I don't get that. Anyways, they all have special talents, but not Lincoln. And so they go to Scotland called Loch Lowd, which is like now the more I think about it, that is actually quite funny. And they meet up with the groundskeeper of this castle. His name's Angus, and he's voiced by David Tennant. There you go, that's my best David Tennant impression. And he takes them in, and he says that their ancestors used to rule over Scotland until they had to leave. However, another person who works there, the caretaker named Morag, who's voiced by Michelle Gomez, who you may know as Mrs. Pickwell from Bad Education, she wants to take, and this is not really a spoiler, I mean, you can just tell from the way she looks, she wants to take over the castle. She wants the throne, she wants the crown, she wants to take over for her ancestors, and Lincoln must do what he can do. Lincoln wants to do what he can to try and stay in Scotland and help the people there. So I must first address something here. If you've never watched the series, this movie in two ways. You can watch it as a family movie without knowing much of the series, which is fine. But if you're a huge fan of the series, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Loud House because I haven't watched everything. I've watched about maybe 30-40% of it. If you're a fan, you're going to get something out of this. Similar to like the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, and I'm not going to refer to Sponge Out of Water and Sponge on the Run, the first SpongeBob, the Simpsons movie, the South Park movie. Right, so these movies, and including this one, depending on how you see it, both films are made for either fans. I mean, that is true to that account. I mean, there are a couple of characters from the show, like Lincoln's best friend Clyde and Laurie's boyfriend. I think his name was Bobby. Yeah, Bobby. And also there's other things in the film that I think everyone, fans or not, will enjoy about the Loud House movie. And this film does deliver on both sides, because this is a very, very entertaining movie with a very simple story that works in the typical Loud House style of humour and wacky cartooniness. The film does have a lot of sharp, fast gags that work in on all levels. This film is also very funny, as to be expected. There's lots of great lines, great loud catchphrases. It's great. Super, super funny stuff there. There's a magical fantasy element to it, because there is a dragon in the film named, I think, Leela. And that dragon is very funny as well. And they meet the people in this Scottish town as well. And oh, by the way, I forgot to mention this, but this, may I remind you, is a musical. This is a musical. And usually musicals go one way or another. In this case, the musical stuff in here, which I'll get to in a minute, works. And let me tell you, it's gorgeous, man. It's pretty cool. Anyways, right. So the film definitely has this very weird tone to it that likes to be fast and cartoony, and it has small jokes here for adults. I noticed maybe just a few, but not too many. Most of it is made for like kids or like the entire family, which works on many levels. There were a few times I didn't laugh, not because it was awful, but because it just didn't leave that much of an impact on me. But most of it was very amusing, and I did smile a lot. This film didn't bore me at all, unlike what I saw during Chroma. The Carrier. This film doesn't stop, and even when it does, it has some very nice heartfelt moments, and this film does have a nice heart to it. Because the sisters, I mean, if you watch the show, usually they like to be before Lincoln, or one of them at least, and they're all mean to Lincoln, which is not always true. They're still family. And this film, they don't do it as much as they do in the show. They actually like Lincoln more, and I haven't watched the show that recently. And also, I don't remember Lily talking. Or maybe that was a recent episode. I know the parents did show their face in the Christmas episode of Series 1. That I know. But yeah, their attitudes do seem to change a little bit in the movie, but not by much. However, despite the fact I'm talking about a movie based on a show, unfortunately, I have to judge it as a movie. And if you're a movie expert, an animation movie guru, this film's plot is like predictable to the max. Once they get to Scotland, once you find out what Lincoln can do, and him putting on the crown, you know what's going to happen. And with Morag, it goes completely predictable. However, to the film's credit, it does it in a way that gives you time to just settle in with the film's execution and tone, and it works. But I still have to acknowledge how predictable it is. I know most animated films are predictable, but they're executed well. Here, I wouldn't say it's executed greatly, but it's done in a way that you can at least, that you can at least understand and follow very well. As a Loud House movie, it works for fans that I wouldn't say grew up with the show. I mean, this film came out in towards the late 2010s, but it's a show that worked for fans who adore the show, and it also works for newcomers as well, who you don't really need to learn a lot about the show in order to enjoy it, but you can still get something out of it even if you don't know anything about the show, which works pretty well for me. But since the film is still predictable and still just all over the place, really, it doesn't make it entirely a perfect quality movie, but it works well enough for a Loud House movie, especially for the fans, or mostly anyways. Animation. Well, the one thing that this series, one of the many things that this film kept was the animation style of the series. Because the animation in the series was supposed to be portrayed like a comic strip. The characters have these very artistic and very loony designs that make them look like actual cartoons, but have a comic book style to them that, in one way or another, works. And in this one, they take full advantage of that and make it look pretty much the same. But in a good way, though. There are lots of new locations. There's even 3D animation, which works pretty well sometimes. There's also lots of new characters who really fit into the Loud House style of the animation, which I really, really like. I thought it was really, really cool. And the movements, the cartoony effects work brilliantly. Like, there's nothing that seems to change. It all seems to work very, very nicely, and I couldn't find anything bad about the animation at all. Nothing. It's a perfect cartoony 2D animation. I don't know if it would work if the film came out in cinemas, but for Netflix, I think it works pretty well. So yeah, the animation, I would say, is the best that the Loud House has done in a very long time, even though there isn't much different compared to the series. But yeah, visually pleasing and charming movie. Characters and acting. The characters that you know from the show are all there. Well, no, actually, not all of them. If you mean Clyde, Bobby, the gay couple, the pets, I mean, Clyde's there for a little bit, and Bobby, as much as I like him, he only appears, I think, somewhere near the start and towards the end, and yeah, that's it. There is... Some of them don't even do much except for fan service and the fact that they are in the show, and that's pretty much it. Everyone else, though, have a big role, especially Lincoln, who you can say is the main character. Not just because he's the only boy, but really he is like the main character. I always liked Lincoln. I've always enjoyed him. I thought he was likeable. He's very cheeky, likes to get things done his own way. But I can see a little bit of myself in him. And in this film, I think his personality hasn't changed that much. And, you know, he's just trying to find out what he's good at. And obviously, since the film is very, very predictable, you know exactly where it's going. The sisters don't play a big role. I'd say they're more like supporting characters and then like huge main characters. I mean, their roles in the show is more fleshed out. So, okay. Lily, who is the youngest, is... I mean, she does play a slightly bigger role than I would have imagined. She helps out with Lincoln in this trick. Lisa is the scientist. Lola is the honey boo-boo, I suppose, of the family. Lana is like the hillbilly wacky one. Lucy is the shy, I guess, antisocial girl. Lorne is the, sports girl. Luan is the comedian. Luna, like I said, rock star. Lenny, who is the fashion but also naive one. And Laurie, who's like that one big sister who's on the phone, has a boyfriend and is very bossy. All of them are likeable. They have distinct personalities, and I like all of them. If you're wondering who my favourites are, I would say Lenny, Laurie, Lorne, Luan. Luan? Is it Luan? I don't think so. Luna, Lola, Lisa, Lily, Lana, Lynn, and Lucy. Lenny's my personal favourite because she's very funny, and I like... There's one funny joke in the movie where she says, like, hi, Scott. And Laurie just goes, like, why are you saying hi, Scott? Because we're in Scotland. Her sense of humour always appealed to me because I like literal humour. So, for example, if someone said, like, oh, give me a hand, and you go, here you go, you just give them a hand. It's like, no, I want you to help me. I like that. And also, she is very likeable, very sweet, very charming. Laurie, I think, is pretty much me with my brother, really. She always... Because she's the oldest of all the siblings here, and she's just super funny, super cheeky too. They're all very cheeky, but also very likeable in their own unique way. I like all of them, but it's just those... It's actually... No, Lenny and Laurie actually are my personal favourites, but Lenny is the best one. The new characters... There's only two new main characters. There's Angus, who is probably my favourite character in the movie. Not because he's voiced by David Tennant, but because he is so delightful. He is so likeable. He has so much personality. He's just such an endearing character. He tells the Louds about their ancestors' history. And he just has a good heart as well. And he's just so sweet and so likeable. Morag is the villain, and that's not a spoiler. I mean, you look at the poster, you look at the trailer, she's the villain. Well, I don't think she's the best Nickelodeon movies villain. She's still very funny and still entertaining. And she does have reasons as to why she is evil. But she didn't really do a lot. She does a great job as being the villain, and Michelle Gomez's performance is delightful, but not the best character here. There is a dragon called Leela who is pretty cute, pretty big. It's a dragon. What more do you want? Oh, and the parents too. Yeah, the parents. I can't remember their names, and I think one of them was called Rita. I can't remember what the dad's name was. Was it Larry? I haven't watched the like I said, I haven't watched the show in a very long time. I know it's Lynn Loud. I thought it was Larry. Never mind. So the father and mother, they don't. Again, just like the sisters, they don't really play a huge part. But I think, like the sisters, they play a key role. So, again, funny, likable, sweet. Voice acting wise, very good on everyone's behalf. I'll admit, because I haven't watched the show in ages. Correct me if I'm wrong, but some of the voice actors who voices some of the louds, is it me or is it me, or do some of their voices either A, change because they needed a actor more young, like the same age as the previous actor, or because I don't know, or because they've grown or something? Because some of them don't sound like how I remember them, but like I said, I haven't seen the show in a long time, so how would I know? But yeah, the voice acting's really good on everyone's behalf, so I genuinely can't complain. You got some recognisable ones. You got Grey Griffin as Lola. You've got Jill Tawley, Tawley. She's Karen from SpongeBob. You've also got Jessica Giacchito as Lynn Loud, Lucy Loud. You may know her from Gravity Falls. She was also in. I think she was in Close Enough as well. I could be wrong on that. I can't genuinely remember, but there you go. You've got David Tennant, who is always a delight. One of my favourite actors, and his performance here is spectacular. I wouldn't say it's as strong as Scrooge McDuck, but still wonderful. Michelle Gomez just looks like she's hammering her performance, and she is having fun with it, I can tell you that. The Loud House family still remain as the charming yet very quirkily likeable selves, and the new characters offer some good support too. Just don't expect all the characters from the show to appear, just the main ones. The music by Christopher Lennart is great. He did the score for it was one of the Smurfs movies. He did recently the Tom and Jerry movie, which, was very He also did, I think he did Alvin the Chipmunks, or, Pop. He is co-composing with, or one of the composers of the film, with Philip White, who is also very good as well. And the scores, the music that they composed is very, it has a very wonderful Scottish feel to it that really, really works, and I loved it. The songs in the movie are also delightful. Easy for the ears, very nice, very relaxing, very genuine, just delightful. Well, I wouldn't say this is the perfect Loud House movie, but kind of like My Little Pony the movie, this is probably the closest to a 100% a great movie based on a TV series. The Loud House movie, I thought, was pretty enjoyable fun. The animation still remains its charming form, but offers lots of cool elements and unique styles to them. The family from the show remained the same in a good way. The voice acting, super terrific. Easy to listen to music that... one of the songs is bound to be in your head for weeks or more, because it's that catchy. Story's simple, interesting, has a lot of personality, and it's very funny, with good heart. However, the things that do kind of take away how good this film could have been even better is that it's very predictable. The humour doesn't always land, and also it could have been better in terms of what the other characters from the show can do. Like Bobby, kind of pointless, even though the joke with him was funny, but it didn't last long. Clyde's not poignant in it. He's not in it for long. But besides that, I think this is a great, solid, enjoyable, entertaining film. If you're a fan of Loud House, go watch it. I think you'll really get some great stuff out of it. If you haven't watched it, bring the family in. I think they'll enjoy it also. If you really want to watch, the Loud House and see how it all works in terms of the series and see if it's like any good and if it's worthy of watching the movie, I recommend you watch the series first and then the movie. Besides the fact that Lily can talk and the parents show their face a lot, there isn't much here that you'll miss out. I don't think it's a perfect movie, obviously, but to its credit, it really works as a standalone Loud House movie, but also a very good family film. I don't know if it's better than the other Nickelodeon movies film that got released yesterday in Paramount Plus and in theaters, which is Paw Patrol the Movie, and yes, I will be talking about that tomorrow. But it's great fun, super enjoyable. This film has now kind of made me want to watch more Loud House, not going to lie. I'm very stuck on the rating because I did enjoy it, but it wasn't exactly the best thing to come out of Loud House. That's 100% true. I'd say an 8.1 out of 10. It's not a perfect movie, I admit that, and it's flawed. It is flawed, but it's also super good. So there you go. The Loud House movie. Yeah, there you go. It's, I really enjoyed it. Really good fun. So like I mentioned before, next up I'll be talking about Paw Patrol the Movie, which I am kind of late to, and I say kind of because technically speaking, the film came out last week in the United States. In the UK. It came out in the United States like yesterday, didn't it? So I'll be talking about that, and also because I had a bit of a shitty day on, Thursday? So I needed a film just to lift my spirits up just a little bit. I know Paw Patrol's probably not the best choice, but hey, I need something that can put me in a very, very good mood. And I'm hoping that it does. So I look forward to that. And if you have seen the Loud House movie, what do you think about it? Is it good, bad, decent? Do you want to see it? Let me know below. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. And until next time, watch this movie proud, but also loud.